Hi, it's Anne from the Useless Crafter, and today we're gonna go and we're gonna do a simple project. It's a little sign. It can be a cake topper, a photo prop, however you want to utilize that. But really, today is more about looking at the different colors that we can use, and also just the tools that I'm using, tips and tricks. And I just wanted to go over some of the papers that I'm using because it's a little bit different. I'm mostly using, you can kind of see already on my desk, I'm using mainly AC cardstock. And the reason why I'm even talking about it is because okay, so first of all, you can see the banner at the bottom. I got everything from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. I love shopping on there because it carries all the colors. So, whether you're using basil or AC cardstock like I am today, a lot of times I know we go into I love my Joann's. I go in there and get paper from there as well. Like, sometimes it's just nice to go in there and see the colors. But they don't carry, it depends on the store that your location, what you have and what you don't have. So I love going on 12 by 12 because I can get all the colors and it's super quick shipping. And I love shopping on there because I can get a lot of my a lot of my supplies. For instance, the glue that I'm using and that I almost use, I would say I use 90% of the time for my cardstock projects, I am using Barely Art glue, so you can get also on 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. I also, because we're layering, I mean, this project is all about layering and all about the colors. I do love the cubies, also from Barely Art, also available on 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. So they have four different sizes. So let me pull them out for you. These are the 1/8 of an inch. So you can see they're the ones that we typically use. I feel like if you shop at the Dollar Tree and you use cubies or foamies, then you're familiar with this size. This size is awesome. It's 1/4 of an inch. It I don't know why I say this every single time I pick these up. They feel bigger than 1/4 of an inch. It's so funny, but clearly, I mean, scientifically, mathematically, they measure 1/4 of an inch, but it does feel bigger. Okay, so let's see. So the 1/4 of an inch also comes in the strips. So let me show you. So so they come in strips and in squares. 1/4 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch. So you get 4 sheets. All right. So I'm going to move it aside. I'm going to go over the colors really quickly. Okay. So, I would say I use basil 95% of the time. And I went into the 12 by 12 cardstock shop, like the actual warehouse, and I saw these colors in person and just fell in love. They're different. You cannot get these colors the equivalent. There is no equivalent in basil. So I am super excited, and I'm really excited too because I'm looking on this screen, and the colors that you see on the screen, at least for me, is very similar to what I'm seeing in person. So they're really um vibrant. I don't even know if that's the right adjective because I love my basil colors, and like I said, I was only pretty much using basil plus specialty paper. But hi Sarah, yes, you do need to make this tonight. But these, just the shade is different. It feels brighter, more vibrant. Um, I love these pinks are not available on basil. I know I keep saying that. Okay. Anyway, so the colors that I'm using, let me read them off really quickly. These are all weave because I like my texture. So I promise we'll get started crafting in just a little bit. I've got lip gloss, lollipop, begonia, geranium, orchid, and grape. And you can always reach out to me for these colors. I actually did a whole order recently on just AC cardstock. I'll show you all the colors. I did not order every color. I ordered the colors that I thought I didn't have in Basil, and I absolutely am in love with them. The other paper that I'm using, I know I'm using 6 different colors because each letter of school is a different color. And then the apple, I think the apple I did a different color. Oh, no, no, no. I did, okay, no. I did the 6 colors, one for each letter. And then also I reused the colors for the apple. So I know this is, in my design and design space, this project is also available in design space. So if you go find me, the Useless Crafter, in design space, Cricut's design space, I have just 3 projects that are free up there, or that I'm sharing. So this is one of them. I used primary colors because I was like, oh, back to school, like I want my red and blue and green and yellow. But then when I got this, I just wanted to do this in all the pinks and purples. I'm obsessed with it. And so funny, Sarah says she's slightly obsessed with AC. Yes, obsessed is the right word for this. I just love the colors. Okay, the next color that I'm using, I have white. You can use any white. I'm pretty sure I used basil white on this one, but this is the other like special paper that I love. So this is basil. It's Basil Basics paper. It's the Mylar in gold, okay? And if you can see, I cut the back too. It's super thin. I love it because it's, it really is showing on camera, like how it reflects. It's just really pretty. You can, like, I can see myself in the reflection. Like it's a really cool paper. So you can kind of see. But I'm going to be really quiet, so I won't talk when I do this. I want you to hear the paper. This is why I like Mylar. It's like the Mylar balloons, right? So it's not your paper that rips. So a lot of times when I want to do something super thin and I can do it, I don't know all the colors that it comes in, but the 2 that I have are the silver and the gold. So if I know I'm going to be cutting something slightly, on the thinner side, see, like, you can't do that with cardstock, right? So this cuts perfectly on the Cricut, but it's nice because I know it's more durable and sturdy and all the great adjectives that you can think of for this. For paper crafting, right? So anyway, all of these items are available on 12x12 Cardstock Shop. The link is below, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside, and I'm trying something new. I put on a black mat so that I can keep track of what is on screen and what's not on screen. Oh, Debbie, yeah, she says she loves the Mylar. I do as well. Okay. So my little thing with layering is I know I've got a lot of layers on this piece. So I'm not going to have to use my cubies for every single layer. Anytime that something's too thin, where it's going to be a little bit high maintenance to get the cubies in, I just glue it flat. So like, for instance, this little layer, this outline of the S, I'm just going to use my glue. I am using, I think oh yeah, you can see it. My ice cream holder for my glue. I love it. Okay. Because here's the thing. This will dry out if you don't put your silicone stopper on top. And so, and I, before I got this glue holder, I would constantly forget to put the top back on, and then it would dry out, and then I would have to, unclog it, which is not a big deal. But I am so used to gluing, putting it back in here. This inside has the silicone at the bottom, so it prevents the glue from dripping out. So it closes the glue though, so I don't have to worry about it drying out, right? So I love it. That is only available on the Barely Art website and on Whimsical Wishes. It's on their Etsy shop. So unfortunately, that is not available on the 12x12 Cardstock Shop site. But I wonder if I can convince 12x12 to carry that, because I love it so much. When I see cool gadgets And it's a small business. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like hitting the jackpot. I um I think, I love cool ideas. I'm all for it. Okay. And then I'm going to show you on this one. I do have a little trick that I like to do with when you're gluing paper, like acetate, or in this case, Mylar, where the paper, it doesn't absorb the glue that well. And so you're going to, it kind of moves. And sometimes you get it on the actual Mylar, which is not a big deal because you can wipe it off. You can use a Q-tip, and with rubbing alcohol, you can, get out the glue stains or whatever. But it's nicer to not have to do that step if you don't have to. And especially, it's one thing to be able to wipe it off the Mylar, but depending on your project, your cardstock can't really handle too much of the wet stuff, right? So if you can prevent from using it, then it's great. So, hi, Michelle. All right. Let's see here. I know it's been a while since I've been live, so I don't know, I'm like really excited today just to talk to some of you guys. And I've just been so busy, like everyone, right? So I know I don't really have an excuse, but it's the summer, the kids are home, and it just feels like I'm so glad. This is Charlotte's first full week back at school. She started in the middle of last week, and Wednesday was a minimum day. I'm like, we just started. I just dropped off and I had to go pick up. And then Thursday and Friday, I didn't even get to see her because I was at Pinners. So I was at Pinners LA, or Pinners California, and that was a lot of fun. Okay. All right, so we've got, look at the colors. They're so stinking cute, right? And like I said, I love my pinks in Basil, but they don't have these shades. And I feel like the purple is not in this shade either. So I love it. All right, now you can see my layers, right? I've got a lot of layers. So now on this, I will use my 1/8 of an inch. Because we've got so many layers. So I'm just going to put it on here. And I am, definitely on the more cheap side when it comes to foamies, cubies. I'm going to put maybe 2 on each one of these letters. These letters are teeny tiny. I know I've got Sarah on here. Sarah uses a lot. It's funny when you get to know different crafters and their habits, right? So, and then let me see. So my screen is super small. Michelle, I know you. Is your handle, is it Chicana Creates? I'm like trying to, I just feel like it's so hard to remember names and handles. I've got like, I'm so much better these days. The lives help because I keep seeing it, but before it's like people comment and you just, it gets, it just gets in the mix and you lose track. So I apologize, but I'm trying to be better. Okay, so we've got the school down. Okay, good, Michelle. I'm so glad I start to recognize like more names. Okay, on this one, because it's thin and it's Mylar, this is what I like to do. I'm going to grab my little reverse clippers or whatever these things are. I love this one specifically. This is from Excel Blades, same as, this. I love their tools. Their tools are really, really good and they're super affordable. So anyway, that's why I do that. Okay. This is really thin, and this is the Mylar. It doesn't absorb the glue as well. So any excess, it's going to slide around, right? Because it's got that consistency, that texture. And so what I like to do is I like to scribble a little bit of glue onto like, I'm even using Excel's Post-it notes. And I like to just dab it down in here. So it picks up as much glue as it needs to pick up. And you know, with this, it doesn't need a lot of glue. So I'm going to use that and then I'm going to put it down. And nothing, none of the glue came out. So it's like a super clean piece and that's it. Oh, excuse me. I felt like I inhaled. Oh my God, it's still there. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, so this layer on here, I'm just gonna, now with foamies, cubies, with anything that has the adhesive, like, you know, just like a sticker, right? And I always say this because I want to remind people, it's considered a pressure adhesive because when you put pressure on it, it sort of activates the stickiness and it gets it to really stay. So you just want to make sure, look, you can see my camera through this thing. I love it. This paper is, it's one of my favorites. So with any adhesive, there's a couple things to make sure that it stays on. And on this project, it's not as important, right? Because it's not getting washed or anything. But when you think about your pressure adhesives, like your vinyl that you would put on a tumbler, there's a couple things that will help make sure that it stays on. One thing is longevity, right? So if you let it cure. So think about just regular Scotch tape. If you use regular Scotch tape and you put it down and I don't know, a year later you come back, right? It leaves that sticky film. If you went back to it within, I don't know, like 30 minutes, you can peel it off and there's no residue. So curing itself, like even when we're talking about Scotch tape, it makes a difference. So when it comes to like your tumblers, you want to cure it for a couple of days. Don't wash it. Just do your project, set it aside. And same thing with this. Like right now, I can pull this off pretty easily. But once you press it down and you leave it for a while, when you pull it off, you're going to see the residue. And sometimes like it's difficult to pull off, even these small little cubies. All right. Look at how cute that is, right? Now on this project, oh no, Sarah's telling me that you guys can only see 2 shared projects. Okay, I will double check after this. I do have this one on there, but I'm surprised you can't see it. All right, I will double check afterwards. Okay, and I'll make sure because this is going to be on YouTube, like just under lives for replay. I will add it to the description. I used a lot of offsets on this for this project, and I did really thin offsets. So you could just see it, but it's, I mean, I love it. Okay, and then it's going on white. Then it's going on another layer of gold mylar. So you can see it's super, super simple, but just all the details that we want. Now on this one, I'm not going to put the apple on. Originally, I did school and then the apple. And then I was going to put, let me put it on so you can kind of see it. I was going to put the back 2 right on top like this, but I'm almost wondering if right now I can maybe just take a pair of scissors, trim it, and actually put the apple on this side and maybe put the school on here and do the back 2 kind of like over the apple so that you can read it better and like maybe even do something like that. I don't know. So I'm not going to do my apple just yet. We'll just see. All right, let's add the cubies onto the back side of the mylar. And thank you, Sarah, for letting me know. I'm going to double check on that for you guys. All right. So you're gonna laugh, right? But the middle three right here, the H, the O, and the O, I only put it in the middle because I feel like it's not gonna droop. On the side, on the edges, I am gonna put my two, maybe even a third right there. But I just, the three in the middle, I feel like it doesn't matter if I have more on here. It's not gonna help me in the grand scheme of things. I know. So Sarah's like, what? The other thing, okay, depending on what you use this project for, and this is whether it's this or it's a little cake topper. These are more on the shorter side, it's a smaller piece that we're working on. If you're going to put a straw, to make it into a cake topper or just something easier to hold on to, I would do 2 layers of your very back. So in the end, what I always do is once I've designed my piece, I grab the whole thing, I make a copy. That copy I weld. So all my pieces, I have a good outline. So this is technically what my overall piece would look like. So that everything has a backing to it. And then if you're going to put a straw, in this case, this is a super light one. I probably don't need it, but if you want a cleaner look, you always do 2 of these. So your straw goes in between these two, and then the back is also this so that you don't see anything. I don't care so much about the cleanliness of how it looks from the back. But I'm a big stickler for making sure things are sturdy and stable. I do not like things flopping over. So that's why I do the double layer. But it is also nice at the very end. Everything looks nice and clean. So, all right. I'm actually sitting down today, which I normally stand up and craft. So I might be a little bit off because it's hard to see sitting down. Don't you love this? I'm telling you, it's just the little details. There's nothing going on, nothing special about this, right? It's just a few different colors for the word school with white and gold. But I don't know. I love it. I love the colors. I love the layers. And it just feels a little bit special, even though it's so simple. All right, our last layer. I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to press down. And you can see, so Sarah, you see how there's no dipping in the middle. It's totally fine to not over cube this thing. Okay, this last layer, if you really want to, I'm gonna do it just to show you the difference. I'm gonna use my 1/4 inch cubies. So I'm gonna flip this over. Just look at how thick it is. Can you see that? It just feels so decadent. All right, I'm going in with my single layer on here, my single cubies, and then on the edge, I will do and support all 3 pieces of my L. All right, so let's peel this off and let me see. I'm looking. Oh, so Sarah, you're watching from Facebook. Is there a reason why you chose Facebook over YouTube? I just I'm watching YouTube from my other screen, and I feel like you could see it better, but I'm just curious how it looks on Facebook. I guess one of these days I should watch it on Facebook as well. Okay. The other thing with 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, since we're talking about all things paper and where I'm buying things, um, they do have some, I believe they still have it. They have swatch kits. Sorry, I'm going to move this off screen so I can make sure that it is nice and even. Okay, I've got it on, and look at that. Oh, Tamika, thank you. Okay, she says it looks good on Facebook, and that's where she received the notification. Seriously, like this was so simple, right? But I love the colors. So I know this is back to school, but just imagine if it was for a cake topper and a, like one of these like super cute scripty kind of like things with all the layers. You're gonna, I mean, I love it. Although you wouldn't be able to do all the different colors if you had a script, but look it, it's so cute, right? I I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about this apple. So if I do it on this side, the apple feels like an afterthought. Like there's not a lot of layers. It's all the way in the back. I think I've already I've already convinced myself that that's what I want to do. So okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to edit on the fly. So I'm just going to cut this off straight like that. So it's only partial apple and it's okay because I'm going to do this. I really needed this because I have the layers on this. I've got, oh shoot. Okay, here's my, I lost my gold stem. Originally, there was a gold stem for the for the leaf, but I've lost it, so that's okay. But I have my leaf, so I'm gonna put for my leaf, I'm actually going to use, because it's kind of thin over here, because there's a little slit in the middle, I'm gonna use my strips. So let's cut the strips out. I really want to press it down. So, all right. So cute, right? I don't know. There's something, it just, I love when things are a little bit unexpected, like a purple apple. It's just something decadent about being able to do something like that. Okay, I'm gonna put, now remember, let's see, I want it on this side. Or actually, I'm gonna put it on here so that I know I am supporting my apple and that I don't get it on this side over here since I trimmed it off. Okay, in the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to design space and I will do one single back layer that will make it clean because this is not going to look clean, but I kind of want it on this side. Okay, here we go. And I can flip. I'm going to put my leaf over because I want the leaf. I think the leaf is prettier that way. Okay. And I'm going to do something like this maybe. And that way I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to put it in between. Actually, I'm going to put it in between the two layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put hot glue in between my two layers and then I'm going to wedge it in between. I'm going to do it, wedge it in the white right here. Like that. That looks cute, right? Okay. So I've got my hot glue gun going on. Okay. I'm going to just stick it in right here. Okay. And then while it's drying, I'm just going to hold it up, support it a little bit so that it dries like that. I mean, the hot glue gun is very strong. So as long as while it's drying, you hold it the way you want it to, it should stay up. This is not a heavy apple. So it should work. And then we can support it. You know what? We can support it back here. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna wedge in a little cubie right at the edge so we can do that. So give me a second. Let me see. It was kind of a thick. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna stick in this piece. And this piece, I'm not even gonna peel off the top. I'm just gonna put it in here like that. I'm gonna put in another one. It just needs like a little bit of support. So only one side has the adhesive. And there. So now you can see the apple is straight. It's not flimsy at all. So I want to make sure. Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cute. Okay. This layer was just a solid, you know, like this. So if you don't like this look, you could put this, or I can use this now. What I'll do is I'll do this. I'm going to trim this off. And it looks pretty clean, right? I mean, this part right here is sticking out because that's where I cut the apple. But if I really wanted to, I could put my straw right here. I think I'll do that. I'll put the straw right in the middle. Let's see. So I'll put it right in between the H and the O. So what I'll do is I'm going to flip it over this way. So between the H and the O is right here. Let me grab a straw. And you know what? I'll do a gold straw since we have some gold. And that's what I have at my desk. Okay, another trick that I like to use when I'm doing my cake toppers or the straw piece is that you can see right here, this is a straight line, right? So I'm gonna line it up. I'm gonna use my screen instead of what I'm seeing in front, right? I'm gonna line it up straight along one of the lines. And then I know I want my straw to be in between the O and the H. So I'm also going to line that up with a line on my mat. So that way when I put this straw down, I can see what is straight, because there's seriously one of the things that I hate the most is when you flip this over and then you realize my straw is not straight. It's so annoying and you can't stop looking at it. So, all right, I'm going to put down a line of glue. And I'm going to line this right up and make sure it's straight. And in the few seconds that it takes for me for the glue to dry, I'm just going to hold it here and make sure that it's lined up properly. And I don't know, I think it was too thin and you probably didn't see, but the thing with the Mylar and the glue, you know, the little webbing pieces that at the end, like as you pull away, you want to just pick it up and take it off. You don't want to rub it, because when you rub it, sometimes it gets stuck onto your Mylar. I mean, this is the backside, so not a big deal. But I would hate for the backside to somehow the little extra glue drippings gets on the other side and somehow is on the more visible side. That's super, super annoying. So, all right, this is glued down really well. You know, it looks pretty clean from the back, but it'll be even cleaner when we put that purple layer on. Now, when I put on the purple layer, what I want to do is, once we've made sure that this straw is straight, now I'll reinforce it with more glue on the side. I don't want to do anything on the top just yet, because the top, you know, with the glue drying so quickly, I want to give myself a lot of time, as much time as possible, to line things up. So in this case, what am I doing here? Okay, it's going to go like this, right? Yeah. I want to make sure I've got it ready to go. Now I'm going to put, oh, actually, you know what else I'm going to do? Because this straw is right in the middle, I'm also going to put some cubies on the side so that this back layer is supported and will be nice and even. So I'm just going to put down, and I'm not worried about pressing this down, because These 4 cubies are really just to support this long piece for it to stay straight like this. Okay, so um, what you can do, because I don't want to press it down because we've got so many layers of cardstock right now, is I can just hit it with my glue gun so that I know it's not going anywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit. And again, I'm not doing any gluing on the top just yet, because once I put glue on the top, it changes my height, right? It makes it a little bit uneven, and I want to give myself as much gluing time as possible. So I'm not going to put glue on the top of this because I feel like, again, the cubies aren't going anywhere. It's going to stay up there. It's going to be there really to make sure that this purple layer is nice and flat and supported. I'm going to make sure that this glue gets a lot of my hot glue gun. All right, I'm ready. I'm going to put this down, and now I'm going to line this up. And I am sitting down, so it might not be perfect, but I think we're good. So I'm just going to put a little press and see, like, it's so stable. Like, that's what I like. I like a well put together project. And look at, oh my, I love the colors. Okay, now that we have that, I can put back to school up here. I think that's kind of cute, so that you can really read the back to. The school is so pretty. I don't want this back to sitting across from it. And then this gives the apple a little bit more purpose too. The back too is super thin, so I'm not gonna put glue or foamies or cubies on there. I did consider for a moment putting my hot glue gun to make it to dry the glue pieces to give it some height. So I think that's what I'll do. So this is going to go down like so. So it looks like I can put the, like the glue drops behind the A and the K and maybe the O over here. So let me turn it over. I'm going to take my glue, and basically I'm going to do a little drop. This drop is solely to give me some height. So I'm not using it as glue. I'm using it as in place of my cubies, because the cubies would have been too thick, and I don't want to, I hate cutting, I hate trimming the glue pieces. So I'm going to let those 3 drops dry, and they will, basically be my spacers. And then once it dries, I'm going to put a little bit of glue, hot glue on top of that. And then I'm going to turn it over and glue it down. So cute, right? Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I can't believe I didn't I normally do a practice run to make sure I like all my colors and I like how everything looks. So this was my practice run, and I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh. I love all the colors. How do you guys feel? Hi, Allie. All right. You can always, okay, it's still a little tacky. I'm just gonna blow on it. I hate when I'm impatient and I go to test it, and then like it it's definitely tacky, and it's like taffy and I'm pulling it out. It's so annoying. Okay, this is dry now. So what I'll do is I'll dab it with a little bit of glue, and this I'll use as glue. All right. And you don't have a lot of time because we didn't put a lot of glue down. So I'm going to put it like that. So yay, so it's not sitting flat. I'm going to move it over so you can see. So it's not flat on there. Yay! I love it. And see how like everything is aligned. This is straight. This is straight. It's super sturdy, even though we've got all those layers. Everything is nice and supported, and I just love the colors. So Now that we're done, I'm just going to go over the colors again in case you missed it. So the cubies, the glue, and the paper is all from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. This gold mylar, I used it for the super thin back too with the heart. I mean, do you see that heart in there? It's super thin. I almost like when it's thin like this, and I know I'm going to use gold. I love using the gold mylar. I also like using HTV in gold, but that requires you to have the right gold, which I love, from Polytape. It's just, I've got all the materials that I like because I've used it many times and it's like well tested. So let me move this out of the way. So this is the gold mylar. It's from Basil, 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. Let's go over some of these colors. I love these colors. This is all AC cardstock from 12 by 12, and it's the weave. So it's got the texture on top. I was so tempted to use, oh, you know what? I flipped my apple backwards. But that's okay. You know what? It's okay because it's right next to the purple for the S, and these are the same purple, but this one's got the weave, this one's got the backside. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to embrace my mistakes and look at the positive. So this is all weave. This color right here is lip gloss. I love this pink. I would say the closest in pink in Basil to this would be, I don't know, Sarah, help me out. I want to say it's Chablis or see, it's still different. I don't have like a good. I feel like Chablis is like the most that you're going to get like that. And it's not like that deep, pretty pink. This is a beautiful pink. I use it all the time, but you can see it's different. All right. So this is lip gloss. This is Lollipop. Lollipop, I was looking for this color. There's nothing. I don't think that there's anything in Basil that comes close to this. Okay, this one is Begonia, and Begonia actually looks a lot like no, right? And also it's not as vibrant. Oh, Sarah is saying she agrees with Basil or strawberry cream with Martha Stewart. Ooh, Martha Stewart. All right, I need to look that up. But what I find is like when I want like a very vibrant pink, I don't get that with Basil. So this is why like I was just so excited to find these colors. All right, this is Begonia in the purple. We don't have this like deep, vibrant purple like this. This is grape. And then I feel like with the lighter ones, they get too light. Like I still want a little bit more to it. So this is Orchid, and I'll show you. I'm going to pull out some. Oh, you can still see me. Okay. I'm going to pull out some purples. So that you can see what I'm talking about. These are, I mean, I know there's more purples in Basil, but let me bring back this one. So these are the two AC, right? So this is grape, this is orchid. I love all these colors, but the thing is like, I just don't have the equivalent in Basil. So that's why I think between now having Basil and AC, which I had not ordered AC before. So I'm super excited to have found this, this range of colors. And then this one is geranium. And it's just, it's pretty. It's like, it's not hot pink, but it's like that magenta that I just couldn't find. So anyway, that's all back to school. That's all at 12 by 12 cardstock. Oh, see, so Sarah says on here, Orchid and grape, they have no comparison. Sarah, we need to get offline. Can you tell me? Oh, now you're on YouTube. You're so funny. Um, I need to know your purchase list for AC Cardstock because I've bought some. I will post it. I'm gonna do a post with all the colors that I bought. But yeah, I feel like these colors, I love that so much. All right. That's all I have for you guys. Thanks for joining. I will be doing these once a month, at least to share like the different 12 by 12 cardstock papers. Because I find that, a lot of times like you buy it and then you get it and it's like, it's not what you thought it was, or something is, more on the expensive side, like the specialty paper. But you don't know if it's worth it. So I will get them and we'll test them out and we'll go over them. And I'll double check right now. I think possibly I'm going to get rid of the back too, because maybe I used a font that wasn't, from Cricut. And that's why this is not showing as a shared project. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later. Please post your comments. And I will see you guys next time. Oh, and don't forget, let me see. Oh, you know what? I'll just post it. If you guys subscribe to my newsletter, then you'll get more updates because I feel like that's the easiest way for me to communicate because with the post, it's very specific to whatever I'm posting, right? And there's only so much space and you guys don't always see it. So subscribe to my newsletter. Just go to theuselesscrafter.com and all the way, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you subscribe to the newsletter. Then you get pictures and I don't know, just fun things. Like it's a more of a balance between personal and crafting, but a lot more details of the crafting. So, all right, bye guys. Have a great day.